was lovely. For many of us, Rainier doesn't need an introduction. Reverend Dr. Rainier Meadows Windsong is a licensed interfaith minister. She's multi-talented, a teacher, an artist, a speaker, a spiritual guide. We have experienced the uplifting energy we've all created with her drum circles. The title of her talk is Peace, It's an Inside Job. Let's welcome Reverend Rainier Windsong.
Good morning. I'm always glad to be here. I feel like this is the little church with a great big heart. So thank you all for coming out this morning. I always like to start off with a little humor. Sometimes what I think is funny, you may not find funny. I saw this the other day and I thought, aha, I'll include this in the talk this morning. It was talking about ways to communicate in the world, and it said, don't forget, the universe answers an email. And another thing I saw earlier said, for eternity, do you choose smoking or non-smoking? And one I think that some of our choir can definitely relate to. Come to the choir. Practice your sin with us. Today I chose to talk about inner peace and how it's an inside job. And it's about reconnecting. And reconnecting with our higher selves. And reconnecting to the earth. And reconnecting with each other. And we do this by slowing down, by unplugging, by reconnecting, and then by taking right action. And to be able to maintain an inner peace during this current world situation. There's a lot going on right now, as most of you know. There's enormous energy shifts. There's personal and cultural identity crisis as we all look at who are we, and is this what we represent, and what are our values. And as we're going through this, and we have this social media, this way to be so in touch yet so alone. So we're also facing an epic crisis in loneliness. And if you're an energy worker or you know an energy worker, there's a lot of almost feels heavy, like doom and gloom energy that's almost too hard to push through. Is anybody experiencing any of those? I know for myself, I enjoy being on a spiritual path. I enjoy having interaction with my guides and angels, and with real people too. And I have had to seek my own spiritual and angelic intervention. I remain a positive outlook on life, but there have been times in the last month or two since Christmas where I had to just ask for some email and say, I need to be uplifted. I need to be shown a way to remain positive. I need to be shown a way that I can do what I can do. And so that, as I prayed about that, I was able to, again, reconnect with my heart. And reconnect with the earth, and then reconnect with others, so that I could feel my feelings, and I could work through those, and then I could rejoice in my reconnection with spirit. So when we reestablish our connections with folks, something that's happening right now is the unsettling decomposition of a lot of relationships. Anybody experiencing that in their friendship or social circle? That people are shifting? And so that again brings us to a time of loneliness and the great unknowing. And one of the things I realize that most people are going through at this time is a process of great unknowing. And I'm understanding through my prayer meditation with my guides and angels that we're going to be in a great time of unknowing for a long time. So for us to be able to make peace with the unknown, to make peace with whatever is on the outside, because we can go to our inner higher self, to the source within us, that divine spark, and help us move back to a peaceful place. So when we are with other people, are we practicing a heart connection? So I want you to take a moment just today, just now, and close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. And then extend your heart to each person in this room. Just feel a warmth in your heart. And feel it expanding. And let this love reach out to your neighbor on either side of you. Now see this room filled with this love, this heart connection. And let this heart connection move throughout the earth to all beings, all people. To all those suffering. To all in need of compassion and love. And take another deep breath. And take a moment and ground yourself. You can visualize your energy going down into the earth. You can visualize being inside the earth. You can think of being a tree and you have long roots that go down to the center of the earth. And take another deep breath. And gently come back to this time and place. As a spiritual counselor and soul coach, I've worked with many people in the last couple of months, and a lot of light workers who are having a hard time staying in your body. Anybody here have a hard time staying in your body? And somebody said, well, maybe we're not supposed to be in our bodies. And I said, well, tell me more about that. And she said, well, if I'm not in my body, then I can go to a higher consciousness. And I said, well, that's possible. I said, but it's my belief that you came here as a human being to have a body and to experience your divinity within this body. So the more grounded we are, the more heart connected we are, the more we are able to stay in our bodies. And when we stay in our bodies, we have less fear. We have less disconnect. We have less unknowing. So when we're able to do that, to stay in our bodies, and most of us have suffered some kind of emotional or physical pain, we don't want to stay in our bodies. But being in your body makes you powerful. Being in your body enables you to reach a place of peace. In this time of social media and great information, one of the problems that causes the unease, the state of unpeacefulness, is sometimes we're overloaded with social media. Sometimes our phones and our tablets and our devices almost become more important than our connections. So one of the ways that we can slow down and unplug from technology is to have some kind of family meal or communal meal, and you put your phone down. It's to turn off the news, watch less news, manage your social media. I know I've made a choice not to watch the news, and that doesn't mean I'm uninformed or I don't care. It just means that I'm not willing to be inundated on an hourly basis with sensationalism. And as I happen to live in the world and be of the world, I'm not missing any stories. I'm just choosing which ones I want to listen to, engage with. So when I make it my intention to have a peaceful day, when I make it an intention to only receive loving energy from every person, place, and situation, and I make it my intention to only give loving energy to every person, place, and situation. So I know that some people complain about what's on their Facebook or their Instagram or their Pinterest or whatever you do. And you know, I like to say it's just like your life. You control that. So if there are people in your social media stream that are negative or criticizing or judgmental or doom and gloom, you have the right, the responsibility to monitor that, to shift that. So again, you're in charge of what's coming into your energy field. I know some people think, well, if I don't watch the news, if I unplug from social media, I won't be informed. I won't know what's happening. I'll miss something. And I find this happens with some folks, some of our younger folks especially. They're so plugged into the media that they have a hard time even knowing who they are. And sometimes the social media and devices have become a new way to stay busy so we don't have to face what's inside us. And when we're not in our bodies, we have more fear. So the more we can be in our bodies, the more we can be grounded, the more peace we have, the more joy we have, the more grace we have or receive. So when I say peace is an inside job, it's about being at peace within yourself. It's about being at peace with your neighbor. And I know right now in the world view, there's lots of ignorance and there's lots of biases and there's lots of fear. And I have some biases about certain groups of people, which I would wish not to have. But I also know that the biases I have are based on fear. They're not based on reality. So I might have a bias about certain groups of people. I don't have any fear about certain groups of people because I believe that we're all gods. I believe that we're all one. So if you have a bias, it's a good opportunity to go inside and look at your bias. Where did the bias come from? Did you get injured? Did you hear or see something that didn't feel good to you? And is there a way to offer that forgiveness? So the more peaceful we are, the more peaceful our communities will be. I don't know the exact numbers, but this is a little bit from heart math, that each person's vibration touches 100 people. You talk about your family, your friends, the people you work with, your pets, your neighbors. So if you're having an opportunity for peace, even in fleeting moments, you're adding to the energy of peace for the world. I know in unity, we often talk about you can't solve a problem on the level of the problem. So if someone is engaging in fear, I can't react in fear and expect resolution. If I react in fear, then I'm only adding to the energy of fear. If I'm able to drop into my heart and offer some form of love or peace or grace to the situation, then the consciousness of love is expanded. The few opportunities I do have to see the news, I try to do the Christ salute or send peace or love to whoever is appearing on the news. And I make that a choice. Am I human? Yes. Do I still want to smack people? Yes, I do. But is that going to serve me in the long run? Is that going to help bring resolution to myself or to the planet? And for me, the answer is no. So when I choose to have peace, that means for me spending time with myself, with my divine. It means spending time in nature. It means unplugging from the chaos in the external world. For me, it means being creative and being artistic. For me, it means singing really badly, but singing anyway, because singing is something that brings me great joy. So I want you to take a moment and just think of some things that you can do to help bring you back to a place of peace and a place of groundedness, centeredness. There's going to be 2 parts to our meditation, which I'm going to lead into. The first part, I'm going to ask you to participate with your neighbor. I know that's kind of scary. So I want you to be able to sit next to somebody, and if there are, as an extra person, maybe somebody on the end can turn around and face the person in front of them. I'm going to ask you to hold hands with someone, if it's not too incredibly painful. And I'm going to ask you to look into their eyes. So if there's 2 of you, this doesn't have to be difficult. If you're not able to do it, just be with yourself. Go ahead and get the giggles out of the way. And we're going to practice. I want everybody to take 3 deep breaths. I want everybody to take 3 deep breaths. And what we're going to be doing is called soul gazing. Soul gazing. Sometimes it's a little uncomfortable. And if it's too uncomfortable, just look at the person's forehead. But the goal is to look into their eyes, okay? So do that as best you can. And this song, okay, everybody take another 3 breaths. Bring yourselves back to center. And if you need to laugh or cry, it's okay. And this song is called You Are the Face of God. It's by Karen Drucker.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Tu es l'image de Dieu. I hold you in my heart. Tu es l'image de l'amour. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Tu sei la luce di Dio. I hold you in my heart. Tu sei il volto dell'amore. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. The face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of God. The face of love. You are the face of God. The face of love. I hold you
So return to your seats. Hug your partner if you'd like. And again, take a deep breath once you bring yourself back to your seat. Again, close your eyes. Take another deep breath. Remember, not only are you the face of God, but everyone is the face of God. And as this song plays for the end of our meditation, if you would like to sing along, please do. It's I Am So Blessed. So open your heart to receive, that you may be fully present to your divine, to the love and the peace and the grace, the forgiveness.
I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so
Thank you. And now return to this time and place, knowing that peace is who you are. Peace exists at your very center. And any time that you lose your place of peace, you can take a deep breath. Feel the roots of your soul go deep into the earth and access that place in your heart where love and peace and joy reside. Thank you.